Yeah, I have a question. How do you know if you're an incel?
Your growth plates haven't closed yet. You're 16 years old and women are approaching you. In what world, in which world are you incel?
Don't try to mentally internalize that you are if you're not.
That's the lure of the incel community. It's weird how, I think it's because it's a brotherhood, and what other brotherhoods are there online that you can join where being a loser is like, gives you higher status in the group? It's like,
it's the bizarro world where the bigger loser you are, the cooler you are.
Yeah.
It's like,
I get pussy, but I'm a fan of your channel.
You're a fan of my channel. That's real good, bro. No.
Let's say tomorrow, snap your fingers like Thanos, and instead of disappearing, you become Chads.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really think it would make you genuinely happy, knowing what you know about women and about society and how, gynocentric it is? Do you think you'd really be happy if you became a Chad tomorrow?
True femcels want to talk about, they mirror the incel community and say that men are picky. If you look at the top left, this is a Vice article. He gets so much enjoyment from my body. My boobs are huge, but he can't perform in the same way as someone with a bigger manhood. We asked couples why they opened up their relationship. And if you're in any way black-pilled, you'll know that women, this whole open relationship thing is basically women stating that they want to open the relationship. It's not men saying, I want to open the relationship. There are some cuckold guys who want to. But for the most part, it's women saying, let's open this relationship. I want to have snuggles with other guys. And the men are so desperate to keep the women, they agree, maybe somewhat reluctantly, but they agree because they figure, well, at least I'm getting to fuck her sometimes, or at least she's still in my life. If we move to the right, exclusive, how a student who lost all her limbs to flesh-eating bug has found her dream man online despite fearing lifelong celibacy, and says, I truly am the happiest I've ever been. And if you look at the guy, he looks like the kind of guy who would be watching this show if it weren't for this woman seeing him as a beta box, basically. Again, the black.
Which one is it? The bald guy?
No, it's the guy at top right or center right in the striped.
He doesn't look terrible.
He's balding. It's not terrible, but I mean, for a guy to consider dating a woman with no limbs, can her personality be that good? Can she be that good looking facially that you'd put up with a woman who can't even wipe her own arse? I mean, what else? There is not much more to suggest, or there is not much more conclusion to draw than he couldn't get any better. This is the best he could get, at least at the looks level of this woman's face. For him to get a woman with this good looking a face, she would have to be a quad amputee. But my hunch is that he couldn't get anything. Again. And then if you look bottom left, you have an able-bodied man. Again, he's not good looking, so he has a low snuggling market value. But look at his wife. His wife looks like Slimer from the Ghostbusters.
Wait, the bald guy or the
no, both. In fact, both. Yeah. So the guy to the bottom left and the guy to the right of that.
Yeah.
He's holding his wife like a cushion. And that's the best he can get, apparently. Or unless if you're a blue pilled.
Is she deformed, or is she just a midget?
She has no torso, seemingly.
No torso.
She's just like a head, and I guess she has a vagina. That's all that's needed. And man. So this is what I'm saying. True femcels don't have a leg to say. He's white. true femcels don't have a leg to stand on because there are all these examples that prove the black pill correct. The pink pill is basically acknowledging that men, sure, right enough, men do prefer attractive women, but also the pink pill is omitting the fact that men also like, as you can see here, less desirable women. And they can't admit that because their whole victimhood goes out the window. And look to the right of that. So you look to the right of the bald guy, and you have again, not very good looking man, but he's, you know, at least he doesn't have a craniofacial deformity. And then he's dating, and then he's dating a woman with, I think she has cruise-ons. I think that's cruise-ons. And so she has a craniofacial deformity. Again, the black pill is just everywhere. It's everywhere. I will never run out of content as long as women are free to behave in the way that comes naturally to them. And of course, men in the same vein. Men will opt for a less attractive woman if they can't get a woman around their looks level. Whereas women don't feel that need, that draw to unattractive men because they don't have as high a snuggle drive. I mean, is there anyone who could really deny the black pill? It's ridiculous. A quick interruption. This stream originally included a talk with examples of how women tend to have a high lay count. This has repercussions for the men that they settle down with later. For example, studies show that the higher a woman's lay count, the more likely she is to divorce. We also discussed how, even if you do settle down with a woman who your looks only just past the threshold of acceptableness for, it is still unlikely that she will fall head over heels in love with you like she did with her first, possibly Chad, boyfriend, or first few boyfriends. You'll likely never share any firsts with her. That discussion overran, so to make this video shorter, I've edited it out, but I will discuss it again in a future video.
At this point, I'm so defeated psychologically that at this point I'm just like, if this is what it has to be, it's still better than spending the rest of my life alone and dying by myself. It's just, I give up. Like, I'll do it. I'll take a girl who may have had like 50 dicks in her before, if it just means that I could have a chance at having someone who sort of cares about me. It's really painful, but it's basically reality, you know. It sucks.
Right, let's try a quick call because we're going to wrap up soon. I'm just waiting for my Discord to load. Hey sub, be quick because we're going to wrap this up real soon. So what's your view?
On the black pill?
Yep.
Okay, so I believe it's a very accurate theory.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, watching through my life, sorry for my bad English, but...
It's fine, it's fine.
I can definitely see it. It's very accurate. Like, good-looking people, they have so easy lives, you know?
Yep.
And I can see, like, in school, they were like the most respected, you know? Like, it was always like this, actually.
And
like, the best-looking people were always the most respected.
And then, let me just, Mac, you have to wait, Mac. I'll come to you soon. As I've discussed, it's a positive reinforcement thing where when you're good looking, you get positive feedback, which makes you more confident, which makes you more attractive to people or to women. So it's like this constant feedback loop, and you can't break into that loop if you're not good looking, or it's very hard to.
It's over if you're sub 5 ethnic in West Europe, man. It's over. You rated me sub 5, man.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Okay, thanks. Call back another time. I will come to callers earlier next time round. So I'll have more time for you. But thanks for calling,
have a
bro.
good one, man.
And you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Let's go back to. Let's go to. I think it was. Who called? Yeah, this guy. I'm going to come to a Skype call. This is Discord at the moment. I'll come to a Skype call after. So let's call this guy. I'm going to call him Mac. Hey, Mac.
Hello, Face.
Hey, how you doing? Do you want to
Very
rope
nice.
yet? Do you want to rope yet?
Yeah, mate. Still, I'm this close to roping.
What's your view?
Okay, so my view is, I'm a guy who lives in a third world country, right?
Okay. That should
So,
surely
you
help
think
you,
that-
right?
What?
That should help you in some way, because then
Not
money and
really,
status.
because
Wouldn't money and status play more of a part?
I'm on like this bizarre third world country, like a mix of a wannabe first world, but still third world.
Okay. So is this like, I know you don't want to dox yourself, but is this like Eastern Europe? South
Nah,
America?
it's more South America.
Okay. Oh, well, it's over.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not Venezuela,
so-
otherwise it's over.
Nah, it's even worse than that.
Oh, I don't think anything could be worse than Venezuela. I think they have more deaths or more murders than Iraq, I think, I've heard. Anyway, go ahead.
Alright, so, the black pill here, it's even stronger than the USA.
I
Because,
failed
you
to
know the
believe that. Go ahead.
Oh
Explain
my,
that one.
yeah, man. Okay. I'm gonna give you an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, the 56% meme, right?
56%.
Yes.
Explain that, please.
Okay, so the country I'm in has the peculiarity of having lots of mixed ethnics, right?
Sorry, I'm confused.
So it's like-
56 meme.
It's a meme about pretty much the Amerimat, like people being a mix of ethnic and white and looking like super incel.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my country has pretty much incel or chats. There's no middle term. There's like a lot of models, right? Model-looking guys.
Okay. Okay.
So
man.
when I go to college,
Yeah.
you see always this super ugly woman just going for chat,
Yeah.
and it's like so weird just seeing this 5'9", fat as hell, receding hairline, receding chin woman dating this Italian model lookalike.
Yeah. I know which country you're from, just by the way you said something you said, but I'm not going to say anything. Put it this way. There's a difference between the northern South Americans and the southern ones, just by like phenotype and anyway, I'm not going to dox you, so sorry about that. But yeah, Italian looking guy dating an ugly woman. Yeah, men have the highest snuggle drive, so we're happier with women starting from a lower threshold.
Ooh. Yeah.
Did I
pretty
scare
much.
you off? Okay, yeah. Keep going.
So the thing is, what's peculiar about my country is that women, even if they're have a disability, right, like can't even move their face.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women here. We have like the world record.
They have a
Women
what,
with
sorry?
Moebius.
They have what? Sorry, you.
Moebius syndrome. It's a syndrome that makes your face look weird and you cannot move it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the highest index of women with Moebius syndrome.
And why is it so prevalent there?
I don't know, but the thing is, as I said, it's either incel-looking people or Chad. There's no middle term.
You're quite middle term. I've seen you before. You're not a Chad, but I wouldn't call you incel either. Especially in South America. you're quite, in my opinion, you're middle ground. But then again, I don't live there, so maybe I'm projecting the West onto your South American dictatorship, your country. So, so yeah. I'm going to go through these calls quickly. So do you want to wrap it up?
All right.
You could call back again if you. I don't feel like I'm rushing you, but I am. So yeah, do you want to make a final point?
No worries.
Okay, thanks for calling, Mac. That was insightful, and we'll, if we can delve into that next time, then that will be good. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit.
Okay,
See
good.
ya.
Bye. Right, let's try Skype this time. I have one guy here. Let's see if I can add this guy to the conversation. So let's try. T, you're on Looks Live, if you can hear me.
Do you hear me?
Yes, T. How you doing? I'm going to call you T because I don't want to give away your name.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a fake name anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Well,
what was yours?
Well, what do you want to hear? I mean, I'm from Eastern Europe, calling in, and yeah, it ain't very good here for me as an ethnic.
Your voice does not sound Eastern European.
I know.
You
I
sound
thought American. I thought you were American.
Are you lying?
Well, I'm not lying, to be honest.
Okay. Well.
You like that David Morris guy we talked to before? He was from Saudi Arabia, but he sounded American.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've had a lot of free time, and I improved my linguistical ability that way.
What Anglophones don't understand is that people who don't live in natively English-speaking lands are bombarded by English. Like most countries watch media in English, maybe with subtitles. If you look at Nordic countries, I don't think any of their programs are dubbed, except maybe children's cartoons for 3-year-olds. So
well, that's really only in Sweden and places like this. It really isn't like that here. However, in my case, right, I certainly was bombarded because as an incel, right, I spent a lot of time on the internet, and it's almost entirely in English, and especially back then when I first got it.
I can hear a little tinge of Slavic
accent,
kind of voice when you talk. So yeah.
Well, there certainly is.
It's very uncanny valley.
Anyway, go ahead, T. What did you think of the content you've seen today? How does it play out? How does it gel with your experiences?
Well, I mean, the black pill is real, of course. I mean, I've always known it ever since I was a kid. I remember when I was in 3rd grade, that there was a boy that was considered to be the most attractive. He was vapid. There was nothing interesting about him except for his looks, and that's how it's always been. So the content that I've seen, I mean, it only accentuates what I've always thought.
Yeah. Once you've been black-pilled, there is no going back. It's not something that you can forget. Some people can bury the truth deep down, and it will take extreme levels of cope, as we call it, to bury the truth deep down. But yeah, this is a kind of a one-way street. Once you're black-pilled, you're even if you do get into a relationship, you're going to think of things like what you see on the screen now: women having 50 partners, you having a girlfriend, and you're her 51st boyfriend. You're nothing special to her. She could dump you at any moment because you're disposable and replaceable. She will never have the head over heels pure love for you that she had for her first boyfriend or even her second. Women become jaded after too many relationships, and yeah, the black pill is it's in a way it's bittersweet, because it can help you if you're wondering, why do I keep getting rejected? What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? But once you also the kind of double-edged sword is that once you realize that it's all about looks, you're not going to be able to trust your girlfriend if you get one. You're gonna be like, this girl is gonna cheat on me. I'm a beta box. It's brutal.
It's actually quite odd because in the West you've got really excellent copes when it comes down to the whole PUA community, because nothing like that even exists here. It's really an odd thing because, to be honest, like a couple of years ago, before I ever found out about you, I actually thought it was different in America. Right? I actually thought that women actually cared about being alpha a lot. That was my impression. Yeah. Because it's this doesn't happen here at all. Like, girls say it straight away that they want a guy who's good looking, right? It's not really all that. It's not really all that odd.
That's interesting because I've always thought that in Eastern Europe, there was an emphasis on money and status.
The emphasis does exist, but it's usually when you're a bit older, right? When you're in your mid-20s, 30s, and so on. Oh yeah, it is true. If you've got money and let's say you're 30, or a status, like you can get a hot girl, you can get like a 9 or a 10. But of course, getting to that level in terms of money is quite difficult. I think it's still easier than in America where you've got so many guys who are either good looking or wealthy that you'd have to have a lot more than almost anyone to get a hot girl. Yeah. Right. Whereas here it's not that difficult, especially given the fact that there are not really that many fat young girls, which means that you're going to end up with a relatively large pool of almost model looking girls that you can pick from if you've got the money, really. But of course, getting the money is quite difficult. I mean, a good thing would be if you are, let's say you live in America or you live in England, you make the money there and then you return. That is a possibility, but making money here is not so easy. So it's not like it's easy to get a girl through money, because it's quite difficult to get money, to be honest.
I suppose I'm guilty of thinking of Eastern Europe as a monolithic, one culture, one block, where actually, I don't know. Yeah,
Poland, there's more diversity than in South America. I mean, that was the guy that was on your stream prior to me, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there are different cultures. It's not like in South America where people just speak basically 2 languages, either Portuguese or Spanish. By the way, the 2 languages are related to anyways, right? Yeah, yeah. So the diversity is larger here, but there are similarities, right? Most of these countries used to be part of the Eastern Bloc, part of the Socialist Bloc, and the economies are somewhat similar, right? And the cultures are somewhat similar, but there are quite large differences, especially from what we could consider the Central Eastern Europe, the Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary kind of part, and then the Far East, right? Like Ukraine, Russia, and so on. I would say there's a major difference between the two.
Okay. Right. I'm going to keep moving. So is there a last thing you want to leave us on?
Well, there's really nothing, to be honest. So I think, props to you. Good stream, and hope you're gonna make a new one soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, talk to you soon. Thank you. S, you're live on Looks Live.
Hello?
Hello? S.
Are you there?
I think you just joined.
Yo.
Hey, S.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
It's Beatings.
What's Beatings?
Beatings, that's the name.
Oh, Beatings. Oh, you're from London, bruv, innit?
Yeah, London. What's going on? All the London people, what's up?
Big up, big up, big up.
Yeah, big fan of your videos, yeah.
Thank you.
You're you're from London like myself, so yeah, man, I can relate to a lot of things that you've been saying, and being black in London as well, man. It's tough out here, man.
All right, so man, the instant question I have for you is, what made you watch my videos? What made them resonate with you? Because especially with black men, there is this belief of, I suppose it's red pill belief, that you women are attracted to alphaness and have game and swagger and that kind of thing. So what made you stay with the channel and think, let's see what this guy has to say?
Yeah, I think watching the videos, it just kind of it all clicks together with other stuff that's been happening in your life. You know what I mean? So if you're black in London, or if you're just black in Western society anyway, or if you're part of Western culture anyway, you understand the things that you end up saying in your videos will resonate with what's happening in real life, what you see in TV, what you see in media. I think, if I'm to be honest, like in the black culture as well, we kind of, it's a lot easier to see than in other people's culture. It's almost like we invented red pill and all this kind of, like you can hear it in rap music and that, you can hear them talking about, don't treat a girl like this way, you got to do this, or she moves like this, like don't kiss that girl on the mouth. And all these things. We had these lessons engraved to us for time. So I always say that we caught onto this stuff early before anyone else. But there's still some sort of, I don't know, man, some guys think that they got hope, that they can change things.
Yeah.
It just ain't like that. Black pill is real, man. It's real.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So,
cool. All right. That I 100% agree. There's like, I don't know what else to say. It's, yeah. And the thing is, as I said before, the black pill will continue to prove itself correct. The more women get to show their true nature, the more black pill awareness is generated.
Right, yeah. So, and I think if you've ever dated a black woman, or if you've been around that sort of circles, you'll find them to be more honest.
Yes.
And upfront with the things that they say.
That's one thing I've heard.
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
Black women are really black-pilled compared to every other race of women, and maybe that's because they're considered to be like the least desirable of
so
compared to like Asian women and white women.
So they maybe feel they have less to lose by being honest. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, if they think that you ain't they'll tell you to your face. There's like, they'll be honest with it. Let's be real. They're not gonna.
Maybe it could be high testosterone as well. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's another thing that I want to talk about as well is the reality is this is going to sound a bit mad now, but since the beginning of like time or whatever, like hundreds of years before BC, when we was all walking around Earth like cavemen, whatever.
Yeah,
that kind of prehistoric level of men hunting down the women, and whether it's forcibly or like against their will, or just kind of basically talking about rape, or just taking clubbing a woman over her head and just dragging her home like Flintstones.
Yeah.
That kind of what I mean, that kind of thing has carried on for years, and it's been passed down for generations and generations to this present day. I mean, we can all say we're very civilized now. We've invented things have moved on, through sciences and whatever, but there's still, I would say, especially within women and the genes and just the way that they think, is just, there's still this sort of, that prehistoric level of thinking that is still engraved in them. I mean, how many times have you heard, you like the bad boy and then with this and the aggressor and this and the...
Yep.
And, you hear that all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So, you can see it all around you as well. You can see, like I've got relatives that's gone to prison and that, and they've had, he's got a kid with someone that's famous now. I'm not going to say any names or whatever, but and then you see, I've been into when I went in to see my cousin when he was on the inside.
Okay.
They have visits, and when you look around the visiting room, you'll just see all these girls that are about maybe 8, 9 out of 10 have come to visit.
Brutal.
So
bang goes that meme, or bang goes that advice. just work on your personality, bro. That's why you can't get women, because you don't have game, because you're misogynistic. When
Right. Yeah, I mean, people are going to say, the NPCs or whatever are going to throw back and say, "Oh, well, that's not all women or whatever." But there is still that level of thinking with them.
Women are. You can generalize more about women because most of them are the same compared to men. There is this group think that they have, like I said, deferring to social consensus. Like women all love shopping and makeup and fashion, and there are things that are just so common to most women, whereas on the male side, there's more diversity. Okay.
Man,
Hey,
a lot of people have gone to bed or something.
I know. Is this S? I can hear S. Or there's a symbol next to S on Discord. S, can you speak, please?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yep. Hey, bro, Discord. Go ahead.
Right, quick thing. I keep on getting subscribed from your channel, I don't know why. And second one, have you heard of a guy called Monday FA?
Okay.
No? Yeah?
I haven't heard of him, but go ahead.
Yeah, but basically he does like yours, but without it's more whole than specific. Like instead of just looking at one particular aspect, he does a more whole aspect and without the jargons. Like for example, ER or something like that. Like he doesn't talk about it like actually.
Okay. Yeah, he talks about looks, but not in the same way that I do, right?
Oh, well, he talks about that thing too, but he also talks about like social stuff, like when you're a child and you're growing up in your environment.
Okay. Is there anything you wanna? How does that help you? What does he say that helps you?
Did he leave?
Yeah, because it's not basically just like lookism. There's like more because I'm wondering like the demographics of your viewers, right? Because like some of them we don't know what country they're from and what's their ethnicity and some other aspects. But it would be better if you have like data this way. You could find out what's the problem and you could like offer a solution.
Well, some people don't want to, afraid of being doxxed, or some people just don't want their acknowledgement of the black pill to be, come back to haunt them. So I can understand that.
Okay, yeah, I understand. But just to make some quick questions, like like your last video, I posted like one of the questions like on the like certain criticisms in your video, but it's not that I don't agree with it. It's just like misinterpretation of the studies or so.
Oh, I think I remember your comment. So what was your what do you want to like say?
Right. You offer the facts, and it's not arguable. It's what's the facts are the facts. It's just the interpretation of the facts sometimes. That's
okay,
why.
So how did I interpret the facts wrong?
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's very jumping to conclusion is very narrow. Because, like for example, an old study was like the Cupid studies or something like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but basically, if you read how they did the methodology and everything, when you do a study, just like your methodology, your introduction, and your results, and like some ending conclusions on how the study went and what are the weaknesses and the studies of the strengths of that study, what is to improve, and so on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so basically, they're saying like
they're not perfect.
They're basically saying like it's not just like ethnicity. Because with the study, like with concerning the ethnicity, like how particular women compared to men, but they're saying in the study it's just like it's not just ethnicity, because like there's also like it's hard to separate like the looks factor.
Yeah,
because they were saying like for example like for example you have like a group A, right, and there's another unknown variable that's within group A that you can't find out, or you could find out, but it's hard to measure.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like you got to be careful. Like there's also like the part like in your last video, it's saying like I can't read it right now specifically, but it's basically jumping too much to conclusions. Because basically, when you misinterpret the data, it could be really, really harmful. And most people on the internet are not really keen into thinking about studies or reading the studies or having second thoughts.
Can you explain more concretely how I interpreted the data wrong? Because if there's something wrong, I want to fix it. So go ahead.
I can't go on really detail by detail, but for example, I was saying like in your last video, in order to see it for real, we have to make another controlled study group, which they're in a different culture, not being bombarded by the same media. Then if it is true, then we could actually say that this is due to like the media or not, or it's actually basic devoid of about media. There's actually just terms of phenotypes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying that
and
the media sways
we don't know
the data.
when this is like actually like ingrained in us, or it's just basically like it's there. There are studies that say it's not ingrained because of the studies about the babies, how they look at the faces.
Yeah,
like in just a few months there, that's like really like more of the biological argument. But we could see like also you could like we know that you could manipulate people by like feeding them lots of things over and over and over again, and that's how the marketing world works, and that's how you form political opinions and so on. So I'm just saying like we don't know like why the facts are there. We know the facts are there, but we don't know why.
We don't know the causation. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And like in like a lot of the people like in the chat room and all this stuff, they're saying like this is like we know 100%, but we really don't know.
The studies
Hello?
The studies need to be performed in various countries, and you're not going to be able to do the study effectively because you can't change.
Yeah,
the media.
resource. I know I know the constrictions of studies.
Yeah,
but I just want to let people know that it's not. When people read the stories, they think it's like the actual fact, and they're like hopeless. You know, that's why a lot of the people in the chat are saying like, it's over, but it's not really actually over when you actually like analyze everything. When you tried everything, then you could say it's over. But most of these people are like saying like it's over because they just watch one freaking 15 video, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey,
you like that on? What?
You're live, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. How do you know if you're an incel?
Have you approached women before?
I never approach women, but they always come up. Like they always come up to me, but I have never dated like ever.
What do you mean they approach you?
So you're not incel then? You're not incel.
They approach you.
Yeah.
You're not incel. You're one of these. Yeah, you're
of these. Chad.
You're one of these guys that
don't
we talk
approach
about.
anyone who's not Chad.
But I like, but I'm not like attractive at all. Like I am the most.
Why do they approach you? They can tell you how ugly you are.
No, they're like they're like extremely playful, but like I honestly don't know. Like,
dude,
look, you're decent looking. That's not an indication that you're a Chad. It depends on their looks level. So if you're being approached by like 2 out of 10 fat, 40-year-old women, then that's not an indication that you're good looking.
Yeah.
But you're definitely not incel if any women are approaching you.
Like the thing is that I'm like very antisocial, and like I sit by myself, and usually like they just come up out of nowhere, and then I'm like,
dude, that's your problem. Like,
that is
if you're antisocial and you're sitting by yourself, are you sure they're just not making fun of you?
No, it's not like they don't come up and like start like joking around. They're like,
What I mean though
just,
is like they could be like coming up to you just to like pretend they like you, and then they all laugh to themselves later on. Like girls do that a lot.
Yeah. So how did the interactions go when you talk to them? Are you like nervous and you don't know what to say? Do they feel?
No, I can hide my nervous. I can hide that. Like you can't really tell when I'm nervous. It's more of a like inside thing where you're like, when are they gonna leave?
Wow. Yeah, you're not incel, bro.
Do you have like schizoid personality disorder or something? Like you just don't like talking to people? You don't like socializing at all?
Yeah,
you would just rather be alone.
Yeah, I'd rather be alone.
Is that caused by your anxiety, or do you just don't like people, basically? You just don't care about people?
Like, I care about people, like, but the thing is that I'm not very, like, I can't really get emotionally attracted. Like, I can't.
You might be schizoid,
hold up.
honestly. I'd go to a psychiatrist or something and find out. Like,
hold up,
You can't diagnose yourself, and I'm not going to diagnose you, but you might have schizoid personality disorder. It sounds like it to me.
B Jones on Discord, you're live too. I'm doubling up on guys. I'm like Stacy. I'm doubling up on two guys at once. Not even like a Stacy, even.
Yeah, like I discovered incels. I think I discovered that like about a month ago. Like I was just on the internet, and out of nowhere, I see incels. I was like, "What the f is an incel?" I just searched it up, and I was like, "Wow."
I'd honestly stay away from that community.
Like,
if you're the kind of guy who's getting approached by girls, going to this incel group and hanging around that is just gonna ruin whatever chance you have. And it sounds like you've got a chance because
exactly. Like don't get bogged down by like the black pill when it doesn't really apply to you.
Disconnect your internet. Just throw your modem out the window.
Yeah. It's not over. Okay. Anyway, do you have a final point to make?
No, I just wondering, how can you tell if you're an incel? Like, that was all I'm wondering.
Well, you're not one.
Yeah. Look at the women who approach you.
Don't try to mentally internalize that you are. If you're not, go and find a way to not be it, because you don't want to end up in this hole when you're 10 years from now.
Exactly.
But like the thing is that I can, like, for some reason I feel like I don't know how you say it. Like I'm sorry if I don't sound right. English isn't my first language at all.
I figured.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Like, I feel, what's the word? Like, I relate. Like, I can relate a lot to these posts.
You might be a mental cell.
Yeah, like, as I said, what you've said to me suggests like you have some schizoidal tendencies. Obviously I can't diagnose anyone from like 5 minutes, but that sounds suggestive to me. Like, you might really want to go see a psychologist to talk about this, because it doesn't sound like your problems are physical. If you're really being approached by women, then you're doing better.
I guess.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. You too, man. And stay away from incel online. And don't get sucked into them.
I mean, like the Reddit and stuff like that. Like, I can relate too much, like, to the point where I'm like, damn.
That's the problem, bro. You feel like you're relating, but you're trying to find something to relate to.
That's messing you up. Like, get out. Just don't watch my channel. Get out. It doesn't apply to you. Yep. Get out.
You need to go to see a doctor, and you need to sort your problems out, because I think they can help you, definitely. Yeah. 100%.
I honestly, it's just very consuming. It's very consuming. Like, the forums.
Exactly. That's the point of it. That's
the problem.
It's full of people who spend their whole lives sitting there all day talking about it.
Yeah.
And when that becomes their world, they try to make it everyone else's world too. And for a guy like you, who described your life situation as it was, you don't have to be that. You don't have to be that if you don't want to be it. So it's time to make some changes. I really think that's the best advice I could give anyone.
Get out.
I guess. Yeah.
Trust me, man. If I could go back in time and tell myself that, even if it wouldn't have made any difference anyway, I wish I could have.
Like, how about you? Like, when you were like, I don't know, like 17. Like,
when I was 17, I was 5'4".
Right now, I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10". I'm not that tall.
Yeah, but you have face.
5'10".
Yeah, I'm like 16, 5'10".
16, and
you still got time to grow, probably. Dude, I was 5'4" when I was 19.
How tall are you right now?
I'm 5'8", because I've had surgery that gave me 3 inches on my legs. I was about 5'5", actually.
Hey, Jay, listen to me, Jay. Your growth plates haven't closed yet. Your growth plates haven't closed yet. You're 16 years old, and women are approaching you. In which world are you incel?
Do you have acne?
No, my skin is very clear. It's like anti-clear.
Like, that's really, really good. Like, I had to go on Roaccutane.
It might be because, like, my body doesn't have a lot of testosterone or something like that, because I have, like, thyroid. So it might be because of that.
Well, you could find out about that and definitely get that looked at. Like, that's treatable.
I am treated by that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That might be your problem. Like,
Snuggle drive.
I don't know.
Yeah.
People tell me that it seems like I have no
snuggle drive
at all, and I'm like, cool.
But do you? If you're here, then you must, because if you found your way to an incel group, that means that you've got some desire to have snoo, right? I mean, if you really didn't have drive, you wouldn't care.
And I don't feel anything or something towards another. Like,
well, you don't have emotional. You might not have like an emotional connection, but you've got a desire to
snuggle.
Right? You want to
snuggle.
You've messed.
Like, I don't know, like probably like once every 2 months. Once every 2 months.
Oh shit!
Low T, low testosterone.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what I can say. Like, you sound like you might have thyroidal, hormonal difficulties. Like, you need to go get that sorted out. If this
like, I do, like my thyroid is normal now, but I just don't get that. Like, I can't. So, but I still relate a lot to the incel forms for some reason.
Dude, I've never met a 16-year-old like this. Like, when I was 16, I was f***ing off like 5 times a day. I don't know. And it's just, it sounds so. It sounds like you just need to focus on what you need to identify what you want in life. Like, do you want a girlfriend? Do you want to date someone? Do you want to have snoo?
Exactly.
I mean, I'd rather date someone, get to know the person, because like a personality. Like, I know people sit around talking about like, oh, personalities don't matter, but for me, it does matter.
It matters for all of us.
Like the most.
We're not like the people that we're talking about. We're describing general trends. We're not necessarily describing ourselves. Like, I care about personality a lot. Like, I want a girl I can get along with who likes the stuff I do. And I'm sure you do too.
Like, the only time I actually feel attraction towards someone is like a girl with like an amazing, like, tells jokes all the time. Like,
yeah. Well, that's a really good thing, dude. It means that you care about more than these narcissistic guys on these incel communities care about.
Like, I could care less how someone looks. Like, we all have limits. Like, it's not like ones, like, looking like they're just like, but, you know, just average or a little bit below average with a great personality. That's really...
That's amazing if that's all you want. Then, and if you're being approached... On top of that expectation, you can find a girl who's perfect for you, and you can be happy, and you never have to come back to these groups ever again.
Exactly.
And you need to go work on that, man. Because like that's what you just said is like a recipe for happiness if you're sincere, because that's something that's so achievable for you.
I'm being super sincere. Like,
yeah,
like,
awesome.
like the rest, like the only time where I'm like super sincere is like when I'm on Reddit on incel forums. Then the rest of the day I'm just like bullshitting my way through life.
Don't
get off the forums, bro. Get
off
them.
you, man. Get off you, man. Just go and get
incel.
what you want, because what you just described to me sounds like something you could have, and that's amazing. That's like you've got an attainable goal. You're not like demanding Adriana Lima or some shit.
Yeah.
Like girls who mostly like are super attractive, they're empty. They're like empty. They don't.
They are.
This is ridiculous. You're attracted to kind of the less superficial kind of women. You're approached by women. Your growth plates haven't closed. You're 16 years old. Don't look back. Just like log out of every incel forum you're a member of. Do not look back. Every time you want to log onto an incel forum, go to a party. Go to a friend's house.
Yeah, dude. Listen to him. Okay, like he's not trying to like throw you off. Yeah, like this is the best thing you could ever hear in your life, because all the rest of the people you talk to on those incel boards, they're going to tell you like, just rope, bro. It's over for you. It's not over for you. It's not.
Cope or rope. That's usually what they say.
Yeah, see, you've taken it on board already.
They're trying to hurt you because they're in such pain. Okay.
But
you've taken it on board.
The thing is, like, it's super, super relatable, and I'm like,
dude,
and I can't get up. It's like a drug. Like, I know it's hurting me, but at the same time, I can't stop. It's like
that makes me sad, man. That makes me really sad, because like I want you to be happy, and I want to be happy too. And like if
we're all after happiness. That's right. We're all after.
No. Some of the people in these groups aren't. They just want to rot. And
I couldn't imagine someone who's just trying to live life as miserable as possible.
Well, here's my advice, Jay. Here's my advice.
Yeah.
Leave the incel community. If you have made sufficient effort to get a woman, which you don't seem to need to, and you're still incel, come back when you're 29. That's my advice. Come back when you're 29.
Yeah, and by the time you're 29, like, who knows what's going to be different. So, like,
exactly.
Go to the gym. Go to the gym. That's supposed to help with your T levels and your drive.
I get this. Hold up, Jay, hold up.
Are you overweight?
This guy.
Yeah,
you're overweight.
Not like super fat, like
I know. Like if you're like got fat, then that's something you can deal with, and that'll help you too, because lowering your fat levels will supposedly, I don't know if this is bullshit, but it supposedly increases your T levels or something.
Hey, Jay, I get this. Hey, hold up, Jay, hold up. The incel community has become like a social group for men who don't really have like a in real life IRL social network or friendship group. It's become like a babysitting thing where men join because they see it's a community of men, where it's supposed to be a community of men supporting each other, sharing experiences of being rejected by women. And like, it's not going to help you if you're good looking and something other than your looks are holding you back. And it seems like you yourself are holding yourself back. And if you could become more entrenched in the incel community, you'll start to develop like BDD, and you'll start to say, oh, my jawline isn't good. And, you know, just leave. Just leave.
Yeah,
just
dude,
leave, bro.
It's not like
you're 16.
How were you guys introduced into like the incel?
I really don't contribute. I don't know about Face, but like I'm not really a active member of it. But I do look at the forums occasionally. But I take it with an extreme grain of salt, as anyone should.
Yeah.
I just remember watching a YouTube video incels, and I go on 4chan, like on robots, like
stay away from 4chan too. Stay away from 4chan too.
You're 16, man. Like you're gonna waste so much of your precious youth being bogged down by something. Time. Yeah,
prime time.
Okay.
I can't I can't make a social connection.
Well, then your problem.
As I said, this is something a psychologist should be able to vaguely help you about.
Yeah, you're not incel, bro.
It's not going to be perfect. It's not like go to a therapist, bro, and they can.
It's not like a fix-all thing, but
that's bullshit.
Right. Anyway,
it just sounds like it can be helped.
Yeah, I'll try to stay away from the incels, I guess.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
I mean this in the nicest possible way. I hope I don't hear from you ever again, unless you're 29 and you've taken on board the advice that I've given you.
I mean, your videos are really entertaining. I mean,
they shouldn't be, though.
Don't watch
them.
Shouldn't be. Don't watch them. They don't apply to you. Don't watch them. I'm giving you good advice here. Don't watch them.
Like your videos twice already. Every video twice.
Watch something else, bro. Watch something else, bro.
Go watch something. Go watch some normie vids. Go watch PewDiePie or some shit.
Watch that shit.
Go watch Jake Paul. Go watch Jake Paul. Then you can be like him. Imitate him. Imitate him, not the people in the incel boards. Because Jake Paul's getting played a lot more than we are.
Okay, Jay. I have to keep moving. So
nice meeting you guys.
And you. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
See ya.
Great, man.
Sorry about that. I just have to be really quick.
That's sad, dude.
I know.
That's sad.
That's the lure of the incel community. It's weird how, I think it's because it's a brotherhood. And what other brotherhoods are there online that you can join where being a loser is makes you more, gives you higher status in the group?
It's it's the bizarro world where the bigger loser you are, the cooler you are.
Yeah.
It's
I think this should be our final call. And no, you can't. Hello, we can hear you. Be quick.
Yeah.
Be quick.
Yeah, I think all the people that's a fan of your channel, dude, ain't no answer.
Okay.
I get pussy, but I'm a fan of your channel because it teaches me just.
You're a fan of my channel. That's real good, bro. No.
I mess with your channel because it let me know why I get certain girls and why I don't get certain girls.
Good. Well, you get some, so then you're not really incel, then, are you?
Yeah.
But it does explain things. It's like the black pill has explained things to you, but. Yeah, again, be aware of the black pill, but don't let it overtake your life.
I'm looking at your channel, I realized, all right, it wasn't my game. It was like, it was my look.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? Don't just think that everybody that like your channel just some loser don't get. You starting a whole new philosophy where you can put that to use.
Yes, well, my aim is to help guys. So, if you're not suffering from this inceldom, I will direct you away from this community, my channel, my videos, because I'm not trying to just get a big audience. I want to help the audience.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, but. And keep doing what you're doing, man. I understand where you're coming from.
Thanks, bro.
There's some crazy accents in this
I know. That was a good call. Oh, yeah. Let's see what this next guy has to say. I'm driving my truck down the highway as an incel. Drive off the cliff and kill myself, my subhuman ass. Right, let's add this next guy. You made it, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you just made it.
Oh, awesome. All right, cool. Right, so I just saw your channel about a week ago, and I've seen all your videos, and
good.
Really, really enlightening. what I want to just say a few things. Like, I don't want to keep it too long. So, what I find interesting is the lie that we're told, the blue pill lie that we're told that looks don't matter.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, imagine like tomorrow, every single man has that black pill, and they realize that looks matter more than money.
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to do to society? I mean, it's going to stop men from being as productive. They're not going to be entrepreneurs. They're not going to be creative, inventive. They're going to be focusing more and more on the body and the look. So it's really in the society's interest to deceive men, not just for women. It's for society as a whole, because it would dramatically drop even the GDP of a country.
Exactly.
Another thing also I want to mention, I don't know if I sent you the link or not, but basically it's an article, it's a study actually called The Neurobiological Underpinnings of Shame and Guilt, a pilot fMRI study. And basically, I'm just going to read this abstract here. It's very small, a couple of sentences. So it says, during the imagination of shame, frontal and temporal areas were responsive regardless of gender. So it's basically comparing male and female, men and women. There's only 14 participants, so it's a super small study. And it was 7 women, 7 men, and it was basically about figuring out how our brains function and are working when it comes to imagining guilt or shame. So anyway, during the imagination of shame, the frontal and temporal areas were responsive regardless of gender. So they were more or less the same. But when it comes to guilt, this is the interesting thing. In the guilt condition, however, women only activate temporal regions, whereas men showed additional frontal and occipital activation as well as a responsive amygdala.
Wow.
So, what does that mean, though?
What does that mean? In my opinion, it means that men have a greater sense of guilt than women do. And women are driven more by trying to prevent the feelings of shame, whereas men are driven more to prevent the feelings of guilt. And guilt is much more of an abstract concept than shame. Shame is about trying to get along with the group, whereas men are much more independent. They can survive on their own. So in order to get along with the group, you have to avoid shame. So that's why I always hear these protests that women do. It doesn't matter what protest it is. You'll often hear women say shame, shame, shame. You don't really hear men say that. And I kind of think that kind of reflects the neurobiological makeup of a woman's brain compared to a man's. So I'm kind of rambling on a bit. But,
No.
But yeah.
So you said, I'm just making sure I understood this correctly. Women feel more or feel less guilt than a man does.
Pretty much, because it's
shame.
that concept. It's much more individualistic.
Yeah.
It's something that you carry inside of you, whereas shame is something that's dependent upon what others think of you. Guilt isn't so much that. So the guilt is something like you could kill someone and no one would know. So it's not victim of shame. It's a case of, after years and years, you go to the police and say, you know what, I killed this person. I shouldn't have done that. Whereas shame is like, like, let's say it's a woman and she slept with 100 men. Everyone finds out about it. That's shame. And you get women who like sometimes even commit suicide over it. Very rarely, but it does happen. Where they're just so embarrassed by it. And that's why some women cry rape. They say they've been raped, trying to protect their reputation. So, that's what it boils down to. Men are much more independent and individualistic. So they're driven by feelings of guilt, whereas women are driven by feelings of shame. And that's why I think we're also seeing women try to even prevent shame from entering the equation in their mind. That's why you're seeing the slut pride walks and women trying to basically get away with any kind of shaming, like fat positivity and so on. But you know what? The thing is, I really like all your videos, Face, and I like the guest as well. Very, very insightful, and it's been a long one, 4 hours or so.
It has 5.
Yeah, wow. But I was going to actually go to the gym beforehand. But what I was going to say is, I think it's really important for men to not get so depressed.
That's easy for you to say, Chad. I'm joking.
I'm not a Chad. I'm really not a Chad. I'm not a Chad. I'm pretty much invisible to them as well, honestly. But what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought. Okay, so basically,
don't get depressed
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't interrupt. Were we going to say something?
No, you said don't get depressed. I want to come back to one thing you said about women not feeling guilt as much. It could possibly be because they have the ability to suspend those. They have this plausible deniability where they say if a woman cheats on her boyfriend with some random Chad, she could use plausible deniability to say, well, the man seduced me. I was powerless to his charm. I was powerless. He took advantage of me when she went round his house at 11 o'clock at night, knowing that, suspecting that snooze was going to occur. But she can say, well, I'm just the innocent victim in this. I just innocently went round to this guy's house at 11 o'clock, and it's all like plausible deniability. It's like, I wasn't expecting snuggles. It just happened. And she could say, well, therefore, why should I feel guilty?
That's not really a case of guilt. It's more a case of shame. Unless you're talking about if she gets...
No,
unless you're talking about she doesn't get caught. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not talking about being caught. I'm talking about her knowing in her mind that she cheated on her boyfriend, and no one else finding out. Yeah, so she can suspend the guilt, because she could say, well, I just went round to this guy's house and he just ended up having snuggles with me. It's not my problem. It's not. I didn't want it. And fooling herself.
That I think is a term used in MGTOW called hypo-agency.
Yeah.
So women are just basically trying to say, oh, it came upon me. I'm being acted upon. Yeah. I'm not doing the acting. I'm reacting as opposed to acting. And women use that as the excuse. It's the same kind of excuse that women can do if they're in a relationship with a drug lord, say, and he's got lots and lots of money and stuff, and she gets together with him, and she can enjoy all the power and money that he brings to the table. But when he gets caught and he gets killed, or he gets thrown in jail or whatever, she's always got plausible deniability. She could always say she was a victim, she was trapped or whatever, and she'll just go away with it free. Yeah. But sorry, the thing I wanted to bring up when I said depressed is, let's say you and Face and the gentleman that you have as your guest, let's say tomorrow you snap your fingers like Thanos, and instead of disappearing, you become Chads.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really think it would make you genuinely happy, knowing what you know about women and about society and how gynocentric it is? Do you think you'd really be happy if you became a Chad tomorrow? And I just want to know. Just
to answer that question, I actually have, on top of every other condition, I have a clinical depression, so it probably wouldn't make me happy, but it would very greatly fill a lot of voids that exist in my life that are currently not being met, or being met in some way. So like, one of the big aspects of my life is that I enjoy being around other people, and I love interacting, especially with women. And the fact that women really don't want to pay attention to me in the way that I would desire them to is a factor that contributes and exacerbates my natural depressive tendencies. So if I was attractive in the sense that women would just flock to me, or that I could have a girlfriend very easily or at all, I think that it probably wouldn't eliminate my depression, but it would probably very greatly alleviate and make it much more easy to cope and deal with.
Definitely. As I said before, like, once you gain this black pill insight, it's very hard to disregard it. Like, it's always going to be a part of you. For most men, for 99% of men who take this knowledge on board, it's always going to be a part of you. Even if you could become a Chad tomorrow.
Okay. And so you don't think you'd be happy, or would you be?
You'd be happier
to some extent.
You'd be happier, but you wouldn't be as happy as if you had just been a Chad from the get-go and never stumbled on this information.
Sure. I mean, you're really doing a really vital work to wake up so many men and boys, even like that 16-year-old. But
listening to you talk compared to listening to a lot of the other people who have called in, no offense to anyone, talk so far, it's a world of difference. Like, you're articulate and you're interesting and you have got ideas and you've got rationality and you've got even an underlying sense of skepticism to even the stuff that we're talking about, which is indicative that you're not some autistic, insane freak. Think outside of the constraints of it. They're very simple and, black and white style thinking people, and you can you get the impression that that's a lot of their problem rather than their looks.
No, I mean, that kind of actually segues into something else I've thought about. And you obviously know about the MGTOW community, and critique quite well. And I do think that men don't age like wine at all, but they don't age as bad as women, obviously. But the thing is, with MGTOW and also with what your friends, your guest has described about incels, is that I think it's leading men towards something quite kind of ironic, and that is it's solipsism. Men are becoming much more, I think, solipsistic, where they are becoming like women in a sense, in that they are just becoming so self-absorbed that they can't seem to think that anyone else exists. And there's also a lot of nihilism that comes into it, which I think is really quite worrying, especially with that young 16-year-old lad. I'm from London, that's why I said that. Yeah. But it's
everyone's from London.
Yeah, it seems like it. But I did see some of the comment section also that there's this guy called Unreal.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying you should leave London. Leave London, you might find some women slightly better, which I tend to think has some merit of truth to it. People in London aren't that friendly compared to outside London.
Exactly,
but I do worry that there is going to be increasingly, it's driving men to become much more solipsistic, and you're seeing more narcissism in men. Obviously, it's not as much as women, but it's certainly growing, and men are becoming much more fixated with their looks. And I think a part of that is also because women are now able to earn their own money. Before in the past, obviously, women couldn't be as picky.
Yep.
And they didn't have the power to do so.
I said that from What Attracts Women 1.2, I think. I think in What Attracts Women 1.2 or 1.3, I said that, because women can earn their own money, there's less need for them to settle for a beta provider. So that kind of social contract between like the beta provider and the housewife has kind of diminished somewhat, and then women can get divorced even after they marry the beta provider, because there's child support and welfare and all this support. The government is the Chad government is the husband.
The Chad government, right? And it's not just that; it's information technology too. It's as I like to point out regularly. There's a big difference in how people behave pre and post digital photography. Yeah. Like in the age before digital photography, taking a photo was a lot of work. You had to like buy film. You had to take the photo. You had to get the film developed, and then you couldn't just stick it on the internet. It was just you had a photo and that was it. But nowadays you can just press a button on your phone. And then you have access to all of these tools that anyone can use, no matter how dumb they are, that they can edit their own photo, and basically they've got access to a modeling studio in their pocket, and they could carry it around with them at all times and take photos of themselves and put it online. And that's the only thing that's going to result from the ease of doing that is increased demand for looks and increased emphasis on appearances.
I'm going to wrap this up. So, can you make a final point?
I would say trying to focus on a positive point here because it's quite late for everyone. Just try to, for all the guys out there, just try to work on yourself. Like for me, myself, I go to the gym. I have my own little online businesses. Just try to be as independent as possible. Try to look after yourself and not try to get wrapped up in female validation or just worrying about getting lost in this kind of environment of obsessing about women. Just live and enjoy your life.
Hard as hell, but yeah, I agree.
Easier said than done, but Yeah, that's how I would put it too. Like, 'cause ultimately, that's what we're here for. That's our fundamental biological impulse, is to reproduce and seek out validation from the opposite sex. So it's a nice thought, but man, is it hard to implement in practice. Right. Okay, thanks, M. Thank you. Call again soon, okay? That was insightful. Thanks.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
Right, bye.
Oh, that was great. Right.
Right.
We had some course.
I think it was a pretty better show than previous ones. Obviously, I was a bit nervous at the beginning. I've got flatmates walking around here, so it's like I've had a few knocks on the door to like keep things down, and it's been a bit uncomfortable at times, but I think we modeled through it quite well.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was done really well, and it's unfortunate that the other guy who was going to talk about steroids didn't stick around. Whatever happened with him?
Thanks, Bob, for your 5 hours. 5 hours. Jeez, all right, bro.
Well, yeah, I had fun. Now it's nearly 3 p.m. Holy shit.
That's one day done for you.
I gotta go. I gotta go do something, or else I'm gonna feel like shit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you later.
Thanks, bro. All right, see ya. Bye. And that's us gone. Thanks.